Today we talk about why pretzels equal ice cream, how to battle hunger before going to bed late at night, and how many calories should you eat, and how should we distribute your macros. Hello everybody, welcome to Equals and Alternatives episode 82. I'm your host Mike Vacanti, and today we are reviewing honey roasted sesame Stix, local from a family business. This is a little obnoxious and a little whorish. I got this tank top that is kind of low cut. What's up? How are you guys? I am in a very dark room. The lighting in the room didn't work, so I'm using the window lighting in the backyard, my normal shooting spot here in the Hamptons. Gary and his family are out there by the pool. They have guests. I wasn't gonna do an equals right in the middle of all that, so here we are. This is the best spot I could find, and we are reviewing this 2,000 calories of something that is high fat, high carb, that is equal to 2 pints of ice cream. I think the macros are pretty close. I know the calories are pretty close. When we're talking about a 2,000 calorie snack, I don't it's absurd regardless of if it's 100 calories off or whatever. But we'll see Owen, how close 2 pints of a red velvet cake or one of the Ben & Jerry's flavors that isn't peanut butter based and isn't 25 grams of fat per serving, but it's just a normal ice cream, the 13 to 15 grams of fat per serving. I think it's going to be really close. Bottom line, a green sticker in the word local does not make it healthy. It means it's close by you. You can make ice cream locally, get the ingredients from local cows. The driving factor in why people buy locally, I assume, is for global footprint reasons, less gasoline, less taxing on the environment to get you that food, which is a good reason. I'm sorry, this just keeps slipping, and you guys are just gonna have to deal with this upper chest gains I'm working with here. There's a great reason to buy locally, but these aren't healthy. And the only reason I'm reviewing these is because the other night I hit my rest day macros. I was still fairly hungry, mostly just bored, because I'm at maintenance on rest days and in a surplus on training days, so I wasn't physiologically hungry. But I had an hour before I was going to bed, and I was walking around the kitchen, and no one was really around. Opened the door, carb cupboard with cereals and oats and granola bars and some chips and some other things, and I saw these. And the word honey roasted just gets me. I really like honey roasted stuff. I saw honey roasted sesame Stix. These things look like little pretzels. By the way, 10 fat, 16 carb, 3 protein, 13 servings in this box that, just to give you reference, it's not enormous. It's not something that you're going to crush in 5 minutes, but most people think pretzels are healthy, and you coat them in honey roasted, aka sesame oil, I believe is the main fat in here. It is soybean oil. It adds up quickly. So anyway, I started snacking on these, and I looked at the macros. I'm first, these are atrocious. Second, what are you doing? Third, these don't even taste good. So if you're gonna blow it for the day, at least go to the freezer and get some ice cream out of there. So yeah, no idea on the alternative. I didn't even think about that before the episode, but let's continue with this theme. If I'm hungry before bed and I've already hit my macros for the day, what is an alternative to eating these high fat, high carb, not very tasty pretzels? Drinking 16 ounces of water very quickly, going and flossing my teeth, brushing, taking a shower, doing anything so I'm not around food, reading a book, going to bed. That's the alternative. If you're already at your intake for the day, that's it. Go do something else. It was honestly 99% boredom that caused me to do that. So yeah, that's what I would do again if given the chance, which today's a training day, so I'll go to bed full. But tomorrow I will have the opportunity to do better. Question of the day. I am asking myself the question of the day today because it is a question that I get all the time. Probably 10 to 15 emails a day of this exact question. Hey Mike, can you tell me what my macros should be? First, today's what, August 24th? I have an app that is going to be free for the public that includes my private macronutrient calculations, my equations in the app. It's also going to have some progress picture functionality, like some progress tracking functionality, tracking intake. So there's a few things going on. It's not like revolutionary change the fitness scene technology, but it's make my life easier by letting you have something that like is basically a lot of my brain in this app in a usable format, right? Calculating your intake and then tracking. But we have a couple weeks and I'm going to get a lot of emails in that amount of time. So I'm going to link you to this video. If you're coming from an email that I linked you to, what's up? It's not that I don't love you. I just hate typing. Here's what you should do. You should Google Catch McCardle. You should use that equation to calculate your basal metabolic rate. Okay, this is going to make up something like 55 to 75%, 60 to 75% of the calories that you burn in a day. Now, the lean body mass portion of that equation is very important, and you need to know your body fat to calculate that, or you need to have a good idea of your body fat. If you Google image body fat chart, like men, body fat chart women, you'll see a bunch of pictures. So if you don't actually know your body fat, you'll see these like diagram of 9 different men, 9 different women. Be like, okay, I'm somewhere in there. I'm 33%, I'm 35%, I'm 16%, whatever it is. Use that number. Body weight will make it easy. You weigh 200 pounds and you're 30% body fat. That means you have 60 pounds of body fat, okay? Which means you have 140 pounds of lean mass. 200 minus 140. Stay with me, math sucks, I know, just right there. Using that number, 140 pounds of lean mass, you can calculate your basal metabolic rate. The activity multiplier to get from your BMR to your total daily calories burnt, most people overestimate. Just use 1.3 to 1.35, okay? If you're super, I don't do shit, then maybe use 1.2 or 1.25. And if you are triathlete, endurance, etc., 1.6, 1.7. But for most people, 1.3, 1.35 is going to be a good number. There you have the total number of calories you burn in a day, all right? This is important because based on that number, you're going to assign yourself the total number of calories you should eat in a day for your goals. If you want to lose fat, somewhere between we'll use percentages, somewhere between a 15 and a 20 to like low 20s% deficit. You can use a 500 calorie deficit, which in theory comes out to a pound of fat loss per week. 500 calorie deficit meaning if that number we just calculated is 2,000, a 1,500 calorie intake means 500 calorie deficit there. Got it? If you want to gain muscle, something like a 10 to 15, I don't know, 7 to 15% surplus, depending on you and how difficult of a time you have gaining weight. And how comfortable you are with fat gain that might accompany that muscle gain. But anyway, so we set your calorie intake. What should you do from there? Mike, which ratio should I use? Should I use the zone ratio or the paleo ratio or the primal ratio? No, you shouldn't use any of those ratios. You should set your protein intake probably based on your lean mass. Now, if you're losing fat, I would say at least 1 gram per pound of lean mass, just because protein keeps you full longer. And to maintain your muscle while in a calorie deficit, having protein a little bit higher makes sense. So protein plus keeping training intensity high is going to allow you to retain muscle while you lose body fat. So we set protein based on lean mass. Our lean mass in our 200-pound person with 140 pounds of lean mass, I would set your protein somewhere between 130 to 180. Now, in general, I have found that most men are able to physiologically or psychologically, like they're just able to consume more protein, whether they like it more, it just works better than women, all else equal. So dudes, you can be a little bit higher with the protein. Girls, if you're struggling, it's fine. You don't need to get a ton, but shoot for 1 gram per pound of lean mass. Set your carbs and fats however you prefer. Like in the order of operations of things that matter for fat loss, for beginner or intermediate, not talking like super advanced bodybuilder, like we're not trying to get from 9% to 5% body fat, like we're just trying to make some progress. And I I even apply this to myself when I'm in fat loss. Like I'll let my carbs and fats move around a little bit. The ratio of carb to fat isn't super important. So we have your calories, 1,500, and we have your protein, which for this person was 130 to 180 or whatever. Take the rest of your calories, which to calculate that, you'll take protein times 4. I know in video format, this is super awkward and I'm sorry. Bear with me. Protein times 4 is the calories you're getting from protein. Subtract that number from 1,500. So 520 minus 1,500, you have 980 calories to eat from carbs or fats. Just have as many of each as you'd like to fill that 980 calories. Don't cut either out completely. Like it doesn't really make, like in some situations, super low carb makes sense, but in general, moderate-ish carb and moderate-ish fat makes sense. So don't take fats way too low. Don't take carbs way too low. Use those 980 calories on carbs and fats, however you prefer. Be consistent, try to stay close, avoid blow-up days. Over time, track progress, you will make progress. Link up the scale weight video, by the way, boom, in the description. Watch it, brand new, 5 minutes, why the scale goes up and down. It's really good. Watch that video if you're struggling mentally with the swings on the scale as you begin this journey. I'm not drinking alcohol for 11 months. I'm an idiot. Regret it already. There'll be another video on that coming out too. That's it. All right, guys. New video tomorrow. Banging out episodes in the Hamptons. Feeling good. If you have questions, comments, you need me for anything, leave a comment down below on YouTube. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon. Remember, your body is still counting macros, even if you're not.